Oh, I can't even do it anymore.
What?
Well, I was already making a fool of myself when I was doing it before, but I was picking at those little hairs. Yeah, and I shaved them. I said,
Nigga was pinching himself. He said, it ain't real.
you ain't shit. Because when I caught on, I said, that was a good one. That was really clever.
This nigga said, this thing is real.
Shit. Man, listen. But you know what? I had to, because like I kept looking at myself in the mirror and I was like, I'm a fool.
I'm a damn jackass.
The bitches gotta be looking at me all types of crazy. Just keeping this little peach fuzz. So I was like,
just getting this cut now where I'm keeping like the top part of my beard, like it's already like doing like numbers. Like, already like, because I already knew. I was like, man, like, because he cut it low before, and then I was looking at older pictures where like I had it thicker. But I don't think it was like up here, like on this part of my cheek. I don't know. It just looks like different now.
Well, I ain't looked that like close to your face until just now. Like, but I did peep like motherfucker. It's like it fades into a thick beard.
Like the way it's like coming in now. So that's kind of like the look that I'm trying to get.
Where this is more like full. Is that?
Yeah. So where it's just as full as like this part of my beard.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? So like the whole thing is, registered.
That's funny. Like seeing people get all self-aware about their beards and shit. You're just like,
this nigga like can't relate.
I'm saying like goddamn. But like shit. That's a perfect no that.
What?
I saw Crocs. I was like. I ain't seen nothing. I mean. How you doing, Phil?
I'm doing great.
On that note, they probably notice. They're probably gonna notice a difference in this episode too, since I'm drinking water now. Last 2 episodes, I said, I was all over this motherfucker.
He was going ape shit.
Yeah, like let me relax, let me fall back, let me let you get your words out.
I was over here thinking about this shit. I was like, this nigga came to the gym high the other day. Mm-hmm. And then the day before that, when we went to the gym, this nigga came right before that drinking some goddamn beer. I don't know how he expects to make any gains. He's doing this shit.
I don't know, man. Like, what is it? It just ends up being the timing. like I just ended up being intoxicated at the same time. That was all. The way we just shaped that, I sound like I got problems. But I don't be drinking.
This nigga addict.
I don't be drinking. And like, I mean, I gotta utilize that Pennsylvania card.
Yeah, I feel you.
I mean, speaking of which,
what?
I was just thinking about it. Did a year come up on my shit? Like every year I gotta renew it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
it's crazy how that is a whole new world. Like right across the street from where I'm working.
Yeah.
They had a fancy.
Yeah, you told me about that, John. You told me that shit like every time.
Yeah, I said it ain't just about a bit.
Yo, you becoming an old man.
Oh yeah.
You tell the same story 12 times.
Like, I'm gonna start calling
where I work at, man. Why they cross the goddamn street?
I'm gonna start calling movies pictures.
That one picture.
And I'm gonna start calling niggas jokers and whippersnappers.
Like this.
This joker.
Every time niggas say
no. You know what it is? Jive turkey.
Yeah.
That's my new shit. Jive turkey.
Get the hell out of here, jive turkey.
Yeah.
But every time nigga be like, man, his money longer than train smoke. I'm like, if this old
This
ass
man,
nigga shut the fuck
he got all
up.
the idioms.
Like, this so stupid.
I'm like, damn.
That's gonna be in another rap. That's gonna be right in that rap.
Next thing you know, longest train smoke. My dick. Give it a blow. Just making shit up. Man.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking of which, goddamn, I was just writing something like, I'll be working on a project. You ever work on something that, any kind of creative work, and then by the next time you look at it, you don't even like it no more?
Well, I feel like I have to be all the way into it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like to start something and then leave it halfway for me to come back to.
I think too that's a lot of what my issue is. Like sometimes, like what I have noticed in my creation is like I'll do better when I just get through a whole project
That's
at
what
once,
I mean. Yeah,
as opposed to doing it. Now in some cases I gotta wake up to it the next day and get right back into it. But that's like imagine Kanye saying like he went to Kauai and was, you know what I mean, it's like setting your vibe for a couple days so that you can stay in there. But if the next day I gotta go to work or some shit,
it throws it all out.
Yeah, like I'm not even in that same space no more. I can't even relate to what I already wrote.
Yeah, majority when I sat down to write my screenplays, and it's episodic, you know what I'm saying, and they're like 30 pages long. I gotta get through at least 20 of them Johns to feel like real satisfied shit. Because me walking away from it, I'm not getting the rest of the ideas that I have out.
And that same flow.
Yeah.
It won't be the same when you try to get back into it.
Exactly. Because I wouldn't like to know that I have a majority of it done, because I'll go back and read it and be like, oh, I was on to something.
Yeah.
And then when I get back to where I left off, I'm like, now I know where to pick up at. You know what I'm saying?
Like it's sometimes where that's advantageous because you come back into it with more insight.
Yeah.
But other times it can be to your disadvantage just because you stop the flow too early.
Right.
And now you're coming in and you're trying to piece it together, and you can almost hear and visually see how it don't make the transition as smoothly. Yeah. So yeah.
Man, that shit, man. Like speaking of which,
I was about to say, have you been writing lately?
You and Shorty had just asked me that shit. No.
That's why you hesitated.
I said, I'm proud of this man.
I said, yeah, I'm proud. Stay focused, working hard.
I said, I hope he missed. I hope he missed me for real. I hope he missed me.
He said, nigga, knock me out.
I'm not gonna do it.
He's not even doing a goddamn thing.
I was just about to mention it. And you beat me too. Like, look at me right? I'm like, fuck.
He said, and I know. I was like, oh yeah, I know too that you've been doing better in life. You've been improving, right? This nigga skinny as me now.
Game's going. All type of shit fucked up. Addicted.
I look around, we acting past. I was like, what the fuck? Wait a minute.
Oh, fucking couch teleporting back to the day. I'm like, mad as hell.
Yo, that's funny as shit.
But yeah, like literally, like, you know, she had just asked me, and I was just like,
he said, fuck you. Start taking it out on us. He like, bitch, shut up.
You ain't write nothing.
What you write? You ain't even like what you wrote, nigga. Yo.
But yeah, like
it gets you thinking about it.
Of course, because I feel like nowadays, like it's kind of led me to come in. I remember you mentioned before, like my old relationships, that I was kind of using it as like a creative like source. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I feel like I was doing that subconsciously. And I feel like I'm still kind of doing that. You know what I mean? Like, I've always kind of looked at my life kind of like a story. Yes. Hence why I'm always including it in my stories. Right. You know, in some degrees. And in the specific one I'm thinking of that I have been writing is loosely based off my life.
I like that.
And even to the degree where, like, the main character, well, one of the main characters, the guy, is reminiscent of me, and his friend is a successful musician. You know what I'm saying? But unintentionally, I didn't even put that together until later on. I'm
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Imitating life type thing.
Yeah.
Yo, and it's funny because on the way here, I was thinking like, just in that vein of thought, like, I have to experience more, draw from more, just really let it flow. So I'm not even like, I don't even want to pressure you to rush back into it because like you're really trying to we're both very familiar with that spark and that feeling where we know, all right, I gotta write.
Yeah.
As opposed to I'm forcing myself to write.
Right.
And it never comes out the way we want it to if we just force that feeling.
Well, the one thing I have learned about just writers, whether it be copywriters,
write yourself out of the writer's block.
You just have to write every day.
Yeah.
That's what they say. You know what I mean? Like Stephen King, the nigga who wrote. Is it Stephen King? The nigga who wrote all the fucking books? One of the Kings.
Yeah.
Stephen King. The nigga has fucking 20 books and like maybe drop with 2 a year and stuff like that. They fucking albums, but like he does that because he's writing every day.
Right.
And if you're doing it consistently enough, sure, everything may not be good, but you're building something to where now when the good thing does come,
right,
you're able to really like fully go into it more.
Yeah. And that's how I feel about my like the building of the discography that I'm trying to create, just as a backlog of content, you know. But like yeah, I was thinking about it when I was writing a piece that I like don't fully like now because I didn't finish that flow. But like I was thinking about it as I was writing that, and I was just thinking about the 10,000 hour rule. Yeah. And I was like, yo, this is far more than 10,000 hours. Like just thinking about like some of the things you enjoy and stuff, and you enjoy to do it. Like you were just talking about writing, and you have to write every day. And while it's not every day, if I like look back at how long it's been that I've been like really doing this, not putting it out, but legitimately like just it's been more than 10,000 hours. So that's probably I was I can only get better from here. Like I can only keep perfecting and mastering this craft if I continue to do it.
Of course. And I feel like and that's where I feel just self pressure coming in for me myself, because I feel like my mom had to put it into perspective for me just the other day. I was coming home from work and she was like, I told her I just feel like I'm always like at the rush. Like I feel like I'm just running out of time. Yeah. And so she was like, listen, son, you're 24. She was like, I'm 49. I was like, and?
Yeah, I was about to say, what is that supposed to tell me?
But she was like, your life is going to keep going on. It doesn't matter if you're going to be in your teenage years, your 20s, your 30s, 40s, 50s. You have more life to live. So to rush yourself in this phase, you kind of have to learn how to pace yourself better. You know what I'm saying?
That's now let me give some pushback, because my mom gave me the same advice. And it's like it's very hard because I feel very alone in this space where I'm trying. I feel rushed too, right? Like we're both very familiar with this feeling that we're always running out of time, because that's the reality, and we are. And to get advice of like that almost sounds like a it'll be fine kind of thing, but I can't fully put all my weight on that, because basically what I'm saying is I need that advice from someone who's where I want to be.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like our parents could give us the advice of you're young and you don't have to rush yourself into everything like that. But our parents got us as far as we are. Right. And we're trying to go further.
Right.
And like it's not going to take the same formula that they're familiar with.
And that's where we keep saying we have to do more.
You know what I'm saying?
And lately, one thing I keep hearing that I've heard a few times just in this past year that's been kind of like ringing in the back of my head is like this that this whole idea of working so hard and to so much and for yourself is very capitalistic. And me and Shorty was talking about this last night, and I was like, like, what do you mean? And she was like, well, in this society, well, in other societies like in Eastern culture and stuff like that, it's less to do about one man's success. It's about the community's success. Like we're gonna help you grow and build, and everyone's gonna benefit off of it. Okay. Where here in America, it's you and you alone. You have to work for yourself, build your own, wealth and stuff like that, and come up in a society where you either gonna make it or you're not gonna make it. Right. And there's benefits and not so good things to take away from that. However, I personally feel like just because we're just indoctrinated into it, there's no other way of like getting around this.
Now this is
you have to put in the work.
Yes, thank you.
You have to.
I was about to say, I thought you were straying away from that point, but this is perfect because one of the notes that I dropped down was that, like, right now we're in a big veiled war on capitalism, and it's versus socialism.
Yeah.
And like all the things we fought against in Vietnam. And like, you know, a lot of this, like a lot of these movements like Antifa or even Black Lives Matter, stuff like that, like it's pushing a very communistic, if I can create a word right there, narrative where we're like kind of leaning towards a one party system.
Yeah.
The reason these things like I understand. I feel like America is or has been so great because of our fundamentals, and we really losing a grip on these fundamentals, and these like entrepreneurs can only exist and thrive in capitalism.
Yeah.
We can, you know what I mean? And capitalism is what got us a lot of the, you know, now, a lot of the innovations that we utilize in our everyday life.
For sure.
So like I can't, you know what I'm saying, like I don't it's funny you mention that. That's scary, like, direction we going in.
But that's like the point I was getting to, because, you know, versus the point of everyone can benefit off of it. Like I feel like the capitalism economic structure doesn't benefit those, again, who aren't willing to work. It's not going to benefit those who aren't going to put in the time and the effort.
Right. It's not going to benefit the lazy.
It's not going to benefit those who probably wouldn't want more for themselves. Like,
right.
And that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is what it is.
However, if you do want more for yourself, and you do want to go the extra mile and be someone of success,
right.
Whether you know
however you
gauge it, you still have to put in that work.
You do. And it has continued to be put in.
And it's always going to be continued to put in.
You know what I'm saying?
And personally, I feel like, and this is where like you said, it may fall into like a one-party leaning system, because at the end of the day, like, and this is where I always have such a hard time feeling bad. You know, we had a conversation about, you know, niggas, you know, in the hood, like not trying to do too much.
Right.
It's hard for me to a lot of times have empathy, because it's like, yo, we have too many opportunities.
Yes.
Like, you're smart doing this.
Yes.
But just translate that into this.
Yeah, that's
you know
100%. And that's accountability too on the community's part. Like a lot of times, like I'm jaded still to this day. I think we mentioned it in one of our previous episodes. However, like, and when I'm at the job and that I need a soldier and they got stand up with me, that song come on, I get jaded, because like, you know what I'm saying, it's one thing to say you need alpha male, that's fine, I'm not mad at that. It's another thing to say that the black version of an alpha male is a gangster,
right, and
he has to be doing this and doing that, because that just influenced a generation of kids to be like this so that they can get bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so like yeah, it is what it is with that.
And then, like, that took me to this, like, your future in that. Like, you decided to join a gang, hustle, and all this type shit for bitches. And then now look at you. You're either going to have a record, kids, you're still going to be in the hood.
Yeah, and I mean, the story is very nuanced. There's a lot of different reasons motherfuckers will say they joined the gang or did this or did that. Ultimately, though, like, for me, and, like, it's not even that some would say if you ain't in the life, you can't speak on it. I'm black, nigga. Yeah. Like, we all know. You know I'm saying? We all part of this living experience, and I'm just speaking on them choices. And it's like sometimes those choices, you know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of misguided bullshit. But
they, and this brought me, I was watching the 85 South show last night.
Yeah.
And Chico brought up a point. It was, I never thought of it this way, and but he was saying, he asked him, he was like, yo, like, do you think that the crack epidemic did worse for black people than slavery did?
Huh.
And I had to give it some thought at first, but they got more into it. But I'm like, did the crack epidemic do more bad to black people than slavery?
No.
And right. However, I feel though, without it, we could have been more at this point.
I'm a firm believer of like, I feel like the way the world works, everything is exactly what it would be. Like, if an event like the crack epidemic didn't happen in the past, it would have been something else. But we would have gotten to the same destination because our mindsets need to be different.
Right.
And that started back before, like, they started that inception during those slavery times. Mm-hmm. So, like, crack or whatever, like, without that or with it, like, I feel like we were already, the virus was already in us. Like, we were already implanted with that kind of mindset. We were already set back a little bit. So, like, I think ultimately for the, and at this point, it's hard for me to, because if I see an overarching bigger picture, it's hard for me to say black community when I know I'm supposed to be uniting us as Americans. Like, we have a way bigger threat than just black and white. We got China, like, owning Africa and shit, basically, like, and they funneling this money in so that they can have you in debt so that they can own you. It's another way of taking over, and we in a lot of debt to China. It's just like, we need a common enemy.
Right, we do, but I feel like it's because of that civil unrest that to transition that next focus to the next big bad, that has to be taken care of.
Yeah. However, I feel like
if I'm
that's
speaking for
the
them,
distraction.
If I'm speaking for them, like, if I'm speaking for people, because me personally, like, my life has never revolved around those kind of issues. You know what I'm saying?
What you mean?
Like,
black community issues?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course, I feel a way for it because it's my people, but I never was the one to go march in.
You weren't susceptible to those issues.
Yeah,
like,
you know, my life was my life.
Yeah.
And, you know, and we know about each other's lives.
Same.
You know, but in this way, for them, like, I would hear them say that before we can even begin to put ourselves and look at the next big bad, we have to take care of this thing right here. Because to really be unified, of course you're going to need a common enemy. But a lot of times, like, it's still going to be fighting amongst your own.
Well, that's funny you mention that, because, like, a part of this whole shit blowing up now, sure, they know that there's been racial tension for years, and but I think that's part of what our foreign enemies are capitalizing on.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think for sure. TikTok and all this different media swaying is also ways that they wanted us to get to butt heads at each other while we distracted fussing with each other.
The easiest way to ever take over a nation is during civil unrest.
Yeah, divide and conquer
people.
Type shit.
You know, like, at one point I think it was one Korea. And then they split that shit up because it was unrest,
North and South and shit.
Yeah, at one point it was just one Korea, you know what I mean? Or like even like China having to flee to not Thailand, what's that shit right off the coast? Damn, forget the name of it. But it was like China and like the little island right off the mainland of China.
You said Thailand.
It was Thailand? Taiwan.
Taiwan.
Thailand is a city in China, but Taiwan is the actual.
Makes sense.
Like that whole separation, you know what I mean, from the mainland versus like the actual country of Taiwan. Like whenever there's a separation in the actual civil unities, that's always the easiest time for the enemy to come and strike and conquer.
Right. And that's all my concern is. I know we should. I agree that we should, take care of our own issues before we can unite against the bigger, broader issue. It's just a matter of how long, as black people, you know what I mean?
But that's the thing, though, for real, it's hard for me to even...
Because it's not specifically slavery. I had this conversation with some white boys and had to put them in their place about it. But, like, motherfucking, because they think we're just mad at slavery. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, dog, no.
It's the shit y'all did after that.
It's still happening.
Like, it's everything
There's
else
stuff
since.
still happening because of our color.
Right.
Like, and so, like...
And that's what I'm trying to get to. It's hard for me to even begin to feel any allegiance to this country. To even begin to want to fight for anything here.
I do. I do have a certain amount of patriotism to America just because of the fact that, like, it's like I mentioned in that one episode that I felt like they was going to kill me for saying it, but, like, motherfucking, without all those atrocities, where would I be? I mean, like, they killed me.
No, I just thought of it. Like,
but it just, motherfucking, it runs back to that thought. Like, I need this country. I don't want to be in any other country forcibly. Like, I want to travel.
I feel you. And I feel like Carlos said this the best on the show. He was like, they were talking about like to be a white person, you kind of have to feel like you own the house of America. Meanwhile, black folk has been like, we just been long time visitors.
That's all perspective though, cause not me. Like
I personally feel that way just because like so boom, like, you know, Shawty, she's African, you know what I'm saying? She has like, you know, real ties
African
and roots. You know what I mean? Her parents are African, you know, Aaron was African. Like that's funny. But
that's it. What's her name? Toby. I'm fucking with you.
That was good. But in that way, I feel like, man, like, I just feel not like this. I can call this home. I can call this where I was born and everything.
Yeah.
But no matter where I would go, besides in wherever I'm originally, we may have came from in Africa, I don't feel like I would ever feel any allegiance to anything else. Me personally.
I was about to say I can't knock personal preference. For me, like goddamn, you remember the picture of my great dad I showed you? It was some Native American dude and shit. That in and of itself, knowing that I have ancestors that are natives to this land, damn the country, but to the land. And I was born here. You know what I mean? It's like I'm American.
Yeah, okay.
This is my land.
I see what you mean by that. Yeah.
Like damn, white, black, this, that. This is my country. That's my. I mean, I pledge allegiance to this flag.
You are mixed with a whole lot.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Well,
then in that way,
this is.
Alright, so boom, right? So in that way, I feel you. I feel you on that. And I've always identified just as strictly as black. But when you go deeper into it, you know, I am mixed with natives. Right. You know, I think there was someone who was white in my family, like great, some along
right.
lines. You know what I'm saying?
It could happen to any of us. That's not in our control.
Right. But when I really put it into it though, like the semantics of it all, it's like the white folk who came here, it was never theirs anyway. No. And when niggas came here, it was definitely not ours.
Shit, it's not. And technically, if we go
no man's land. We can't own.
It's all a conquest. Yeah. And I'm just picking whose team I'm on, and I'm on a winning team.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm rocking. I won't be in the army though.
Yeah, fuck that. Take me to jail.
At that point, you do own me. Like I can't do shit.
You do own me.
Yeah, like goddamn.
Nigga, slave for real.
Speaking of which, all this U.S. and shit, team. You heard the news of the basketball, like the I don't know if it's like some. It's not an all-star game, you know. I don't
Olympic
sports yeah, Team USA lost to Australia twice.
Man, ever since the Dream Team.
And by this point, I don't even know how many losses we took.
Ever since the Dream Team, we've been ass.
They might have got us out of here. But I'm talking, they got their star players on that court and shit. And I'm just like, yo.
Don't got LeBron.
Was he playing?
I think they got Harden. I think they got Harden on that last time.
But even if they got Harden up there, I'm just like, damn, USA.
But that's what I mean, though. So, like, even then, like, for the Olympics as an example.
Yeah.
Like, when I look at something like that, it was a time where being like from America was like
man, you were the best.
Yeah, because we were really ripping shit. You know what I'm saying? We were the best fighters, best fucking basketball players.
You had to be the best.
Just everything we were taking over. Nowadays, it's like people have kind of taken our formula and like used it against us. Like now we got Australians whipping our asses. Nigga.
Like it, but brought that
they
up
fight kangaroos.
Oi, mate. But man, what is it? I was like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. But I said it is the fall of America. Just the decline of everything. We losing in all sports. Like motherfucking, we can't stop fighting each other. We in debt like a motherfucker. Like, and I haven't been paying attention to politics for real since like motherfucking. What's his name?
Obama.
I was about to say since Romney lost.
That's a Republican like a motherfucker.
No, I was rooting for Obama then. I was just like, great, Romney lost. Alright, back to normal life. Like we was all politicians until Obama won and it was like, okay, great, goal accomplished. But like motherfucking I do know that like this Biden character.
Yo, the shit I be like the clips I be seeing of this man, I be like, yo.
This is crazy.
And again, like I don't lean towards any direction. You know what I mean? If you get to know me, you may.
You know what I'm saying?
You may say otherwise.
Right is right, wrong is wrong.
Right, but this is what I've seen. Oh, but this man, whenever he speaks, I'm just like, yo, like I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, it's a clown.
I was nervous for Trump for sure, but
I miss him. I said, make America great again. God damn. This shit crazy. China ain't scared. Niggas on the borders and shit. Like, we blowing up the ocean. What's going on? But, the dude, Patrick Bet-David, he had a thing to say about like $100,000 politicians.
Yeah.
And like how if you not you can be bought if you broke. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And like these politicians is getting bought.
I definitely feel as though so I wasn't a big fan of when Trump came into office, but the one thing I will say was it didn't feel like, obviously it wasn't a typical presidency. He wasn't like, your typical president. He wasn't presidential at all.
Right.
He's a celebrity.
Yeah.
But now going back into the normalcy of things, I'm like, I don't, nah. Now that feels,
right.
Something's weird because up until then, like, all the presidents have been presidential. It's been, it's been a standard and expectation to be met. But Biden, I feel like now it's not like, now I feel like the curtain was kind of drawn back just a little bit.
But you know what?
Now they're like, let's put this guy back in here.
Right.
Who's, who was how we wanted it to be the first time.
I see what you're saying. Like, basically, like the profile picture of what it's supposed to, the profile of a president, so to speak.
Right.
And I'm going to speak to that because in 2008, when motherfucking Obama got elected, I told myself, man, fuck. I know that after a black man has been in office,
it's never going to happen again.
Not that it's never going to happen again. They're going to make it look easy now. They're not about to give us any serious presidential candidates after this black man got office. They're about to give us a bunch of fucking clowns.
Do you think Biden's gonna get a second term? I personally don't.
I don't. No.
Only because you can't have such a figure like Trump,
right?
Who ran for 2 terms, right?
Yeah, he did.
Who ran for 2 terms, and now you have to go back to the normal way of doing things.
It wouldn't be so bad if his like, I don't know, like, for example,
because it's not very often presidents don't serve 2 terms.
Right.
There's only been a few.
Right.
And in those few, you know what I mean, either they were assassinated or, like, of course, another political candidate came along and just, was a better candidate.
Right.
I feel as though Biden won't serve 2 terms. Just because I feel like there will be someone way better.
I hope that there is a better candidate in place. However, a funnier, nuanced question is, if it's him versus Trump again, who you getting out for?
You can't serve 3 terms as a president.
Trump wouldn't have served 3 terms.
That would have been his third. You can't be a president again after you're president before.
He didn't serve 2 terms.
He didn't?
No, he only served 4 years.
That's what I just asked you. I said, did he serve 2 terms? He was like, yeah.
Oh, no.
I was like, oh.
I'm going Trump. I'm going to kill me. Man, fuck, man. Y'all gotta understand, man. I'm trying to save this country.
Honestly, like, I'm just not even. When it comes to voting, dog, like,
I haven't voted for the past couple years. Like, I didn't vote Biden. I didn't vote Trump when Trump got voted in. Like, I haven't voted for the past couple years.
The last election
was for Obama.
The last election I was voting against Trump. I voted for Hillary, but only because I don't want Trump in office.
Trust.
But that was like before, obviously, everything occurred.
But let's keep it a whole stack. Like, I won't even give the percentage because I think it's very high. But I think there's a high percentage of black people just like me who would only vote against Trump because of hearsay.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They don't know shit about his policies or what he's done for the country.
And that's where a lot of my, like, after I started getting a little more into politics, I'm like, man, like, we as black folk, we just automatically vote Democrat just because.
Yeah, groupthink. And it'll get you killed.
And in reality, like, if you just And that's where like the capitalism comes in, because Republicans, I feel like, are
they're for that capitalism.
They're for capitalism, and while the left-leaning liberal Democratic Party is just like,
and they're capitalistic, they just more emotional about it.
And a little more inclusive. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
there you go. It's about equality and stuff.
And that's great too.
Yeah,
we need that. However, personally, just kind of person that I am, and that I've kind of learned about what I want in the world and this being in this country. Like I said, some people, if you were to talk to me for a little while, some people would probably consider me to be a little more right-leaning conservative. Mm-hmm. But, however, I just feel as though no matter who I vote for in whatever election, it's not even up to me. Right. That's personally how I feel.
That's probably a part of why I didn't vote. But then I don't want to support that mindset. I feel like every time the voting time comes around and I don't vote, my mind permeates through the air and infects like a million other people. Like for some reason, I just feel like if I don't vote, 1,000 other people won't.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Well, either way, one way or another, motherfuckers just ain't gonna vote, and I don't like to be made to be feel bad about that shit. Like I remember this one old lady got mad at me because I wasn't gonna vote. So she was like, your answer died for you, and I'm just like, no disrespect. But but they died for the choice for me to vote. The choice, not for me to vote.
And
because before I didn't have a choice.
I get what you're saying as well. Like but they did die for you. I get what she's saying. I get both sides. It's just like, lady, but you know what though? If I'm to, because I don't want to play the both sides guy. I gotta, stand on something. And so if I'm going that way, I'd have to agree with the old lady just because, like, motherfucking, if I get out of my own, idea of life and what life is and everything, like, but these things are in place for us to make our impact as well.
And that's what I'm saying though. But I've never even been super into. I don't think this big government and our government has ever been, if we're going back to black people, has ever been suited to ever help us the way we've been indoctrinated to help it.
Well, that's partially true. However, if
I don't feel inclined to vote for no president just because like there's never going to be no direct impact for my people. I can't agree. I can't agree that that's true because like if that was the case, then we would have never had a Barack Obama or anything like that. That don't mean nothing. Nah, it does. Not to me. It does. Just because you threw a black man in this White House, he wasn't even doing a whole lot.
If we're to look at the technicalities of the thing, if we're to believe the system works, it's like he was voted in. I think black people don't take enough advantage of the system, and that's where the problem lies. I think we don't know enough about it or do enough with it, and we're just enjoying we're consumers.
We take advantage of the bottom side of the system, the welfare, the Section 8, the government assistance. We don't take advantage
and then don't participate in the politics.
In the politics, we don't take advantage of the entrepreneurial possibilities that goes on. We don't in that way.
And you saying that's my point. If we don't take advantage of those things, how can we feel like it's for us? Because the white people are taking advantage of it, and that's why the laws are catering to them. And so, like, if you want it to cater to you, do it.
Right.
You got to work with it, So I can't fully agree that it's not for us. We ain't been doing shit with it, and that's what I mean with this whole black mentality. Like we just been so against learning, and it's like things we got to learn.
It's less to do with learning. It's more to do with the lack of trust.
True. It's not because who are you learning from?
Right.
You're
now about to again indoctrinate yourself into a country that you helped build, that you got no benefit from ever, and was somewhat always against you. Was against you for thousands of years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that takes a lot of. You have to really be like forward thinking, like, to try to move from that.
And I guess that's where it's going. It's like, the rules of natural selection, right? It's like, at this point, I was just talking to Miss Lady on the highway about this. Like, motherfucking,
too comfortable.
But, like, motherfucking, I was talking to her on the way back here, and I was just like, motherfucking, what'd I tell her? Oh, yeah. Like, at this point, I'm of the mind, like I can't save them. You know, like if they're not thinking like me, and I don't know what brought the mindset up. I think it was on the highway and somebody was driving all fucked up, and then just looking at, you know, I delve into more thoughts, just branching off on one thing.
Right.
But yeah, just looking at that, I was just like, yeah, like sometimes, you know, I think this whole natural selection thing is what's going to take place with the forward thinking. You know, like either because when it say all of this is going to shit, when it's the end and everything. Like, and you either going to be on one side of the fence or the other. And I just want to set myself up to be on a better foot, and I don't want to be just like in real life where I don't want to be stuck holding on to shit from the past. I don't want to be holding on to shit that happened to my ancestors that built on a foundation that put us in this apartment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you have the freedom to do all these things because of those atrocities. Sure, it sucks. However, like, and let's call it spade a spade. We don't see racism all the time.
Yeah.
We feel the effects of it. We feel the vibes is different and da. But like, and it's annoying being the people that has to be the bigger man.
Right.
Because like, y'all the ones who are wrong.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. That's where a lot of that resistance will come in.
Yeah.
Is the fact that, yo, like, up until this point, how do you expect us to fully go into these things that is for us when at a point it wasn't.
Right.
And we were like the guinea pigs for it. We were the ones who built it. Like, we were the ones who suffered for it.
Right.
Like, a lot happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it continues to have a systematic effect.
Yeah, and it still does. So, like, that's where my empathy comes in for not fully going all the way into, like, all right, like, this is our country, we gotta do something, and it's bigger things than us. Like, it's hard to come to that.
True.
It's hard to.
I feel you, and it's
a very abusive relationship.
Yes. And for me, I can close it with saying that, because you said abusive relationship. I was just like, a motherfucking. Who else I'm gonna go to? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's less of a patriotism thing, more so of a, like, if I don't fight for, like, staying in this country or keeping this country, I don't know. If I don't fight for the U.S., then I'm going to have a worse partner.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all I can think of it as. Like, and I won't have the same comforts. It will never be the same. There's not another America.
This is true. This is very true.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can live in a lot of different places in the world. There's so many different places in the world. So I understand that, like, you know, there's more choice. It's just the foundation, what America is, there's only one.
You're right about that. and that's where, and this isn't me, but that's where people will come in and say, like, maybe the way America is set up isn't always going to benefit the kind of people that we are. When I mean we, I mean just people in general, not just black folk. Hence why a lot of people may want to try a different economic structure or a different party or a different just society in general with different standards and expectations, because the ones that are set here just aren't that it's not all that all inclusive.
That sounds pretty cool. That sounds like
again, if we're talking about relationships,
yeah.
If you're with someone who is abusive but they have, like, other things that you could benefit from, what matters more?
Because you're not even talking on a skin color or a race point, more so than a financial.
Yeah, as a person.
Yeah,
like,
just as you, where your goals are set and how that you want your life structured. I feel like when you said that, I was like, in school, like early in school, elementary, middle school, they should have a travel abroad system so you could at least, like, try. Or
not the schools we went to. I'm pretty sure they got them now.
True. I was gonna say that needs funding, and I know.
Yeah.
And see, that's the complications of things. Schools is paid for by the property taxes, and that's why, like, if you're in a rich neighborhood, your school is nice.
Yeah.
Poor neighborhood, opposite. But
yeah.
like, shit, shit is so complex, and there's so many systems that are dependent on other systems to work.
Right.
We don't, like, we don't really see how much is at play here, and so, like simple. That's why I laugh at silly, simple solutions like defund the police. Like, are you fucking stupid?
Yeah, like I don't know about all that.
Like, but it's all emotionally charged shit that a lot of black people are ready to agree with just because black people said it.
Right.
And so, like, motherfucking, I'm just tired of the group think, and I really need us to start thinking, like, thinking. Yeah. I really need us to start thinking, because a lot of us is just that's why I've been off social media a good week now.
Yeah.
And like motherfucking, oh my god, just if I can imagine revisiting social media just to see that everybody's saying the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, people, I mean, they only care about what's on their timelines.
Yeah. It's one big echo chamber. You know, and the internet, depending on what you follow, you know what I'm saying, especially if you're black, like a lot of it's going to be super left-leaning, liberal, you know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, that too, you know what I'm saying? And, but me personally, I find that a lot of my stuff, like, especially on Twitter, it's like a lot of pages that I follow, it's not that liberal at all. If anything, it's a lot of conservative shit on there. You know what I mean? Like just hard work goals and business shit like that. But I go to Instagram and it's just like, fight for Israel, fight for Paris.
Yeah, I made a joke on my story where I was just like, what happened to all y'all motherfuckers that cared about Palestine?
Protect trans people, all type of shit.
Yeah, all type of shit that they don't really agree with.
Everything else that I'm forced to care about that I genuinely don't give a fuck about.
Right.
Like, I really don't.
The cancel culture and shit. That's why, like, this outlet, like me earlier saying, like, I'm going Trump. Like, I said that just to be a dickhead a little bit, because it's just like, man, I'm tired of motherfuckers, like, the whole idea of getting canceled because you disagree or agree and shit. Yeah. Like, it's just, it's getting out of hand. Everything's just getting out of hand.
I wanna switch gears a little bit.
Yeah,
because
I'm getting mad.
just on a little softer topic, but when you walked in, we were watching a documentary, but it's called This Is Pop, and it pretty much talks about. I wish, but it was pretty much talking about different genres that were crossing over into the pop genre, right? Or like different artists and stuff like that. So they started off with R&B, specifically Boys and Men.
Okay.
And it was very like intriguing to me because
that they started off with that.
Right, but not that it started off with it, but I for the longest time I could never place why I was never a big Boys and Men fan, like I was a Jodeci fan.
Boys and Men. Okay.
Because how Boys and Men was marketed was way more pop and had way more pop appeal.
Right.
While Jodeci was like real R&B nigga shit.
Yeah, stuff to fuck to.
Exactly. Right. While Boys and Men, made the glorious ballads.
Right, right. They made beautiful music for movies. Shit you can get married to till this day.
To this day, right? And
classics.
I was kind of really enthralled in this commentary because what got me was like their success drew the way and immediately brought upon the white folk imitating. The NSYNCs, the Backstreet Boys, 98 Degrees.
That's the thing about white people,
man. I was like, and they were admitted, it was like, yo, like we took the Boys and Men formula because they were that. Mm-hmm. And I was like just so blown away by it and like kind of taken aback that these black men who were from Philly had this pop success, this pop appeal, just for them to not even carry it on to this day, to have a nigga like Justin Timberlake come along and take their whole swag.
But I feel like that's what white people.
That shit.
You know how I feel like
had me tight.
It's grinding your gears.
That shit had me tight.
Like I really feel like how fuck. Let's Naruto this out. What are the clans, right?
Uchiha.
Alright, so Uchiha got the flame.
Yeah.
What's the other one? Uzumaki.
Yeah.
They got the winds and stuff like that. I feel like humans have these kind of things about them. Mm-hmm. Breeds, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And the white breed has an inclination to mimic better. Like, they'll see they can see us do something first.
So boom.
And then create a formula around that
They were interviewing Babyface for that episode.
Yeah.
GOAT. He said, I had to quote it because he said, when you want to get the cool new stuff, you go check out what the young black kids are doing.
What I say?
And that's what I was saying. I'm like, man, to me, like, because a lot of times
we got the cool.
That's
our
cool.
power.
However, it only becomes that more popular because white people are the majority. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's like that cool though.
No.
Y'all just took it and has made it something else. Now it's not.
Yeah, they know how to monetize it in the system that they created.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all.
Exactly. So when you got these black boys come out of Philly, Motown Philly, dancing with the button ups and the the bow ties and everything. You know what I'm
saying? We just wanted to be talented. We just wanted to show our talent and entertain people. But they they turned it into their own business.
It was crazy, yo, and that shit it took me back and it made me just think of just how rock and roll's taken from us. Blues, jazz. You know what I'm saying? And luckily, by the grace of God, we was able to keep hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you see where it's going.
What do you mean?
We got hip hop is young, right? And it's youth this far in. We got a Tekashi 6ix9ine who goes against everything that hip hop's fundamentalists were supposed to be on. We got black people are so forgiving and a lot of times to our disadvantage because example, you'll hear a nigga like Justin Bieber and be like, oh, he can sing, fuck him, he's with us, he's invited to the cookout. I've never forgiven this nigga for that video saying nigga and shit, and now I see him with all these black stars and they don't care. It's like we got people don't stand on shit these days. Right. And so I won't be surprised we get a white rapper saying nigga and niggas is fine with it.
Damn, they got logic.
You know what I'm saying? I really niggas is,
even though he's mixed, but like you're a white man. You're a white man.
There's just a very, very small majority.
Didn't Eminem say nigga that one time?
I don't remember.
It was one bar. He was like, some I'm not allowed to say or some shit.
Oh yeah, I'm allowed to say, just hinting at it and shit.
Yeah.
But like motherfucking, but yeah, man, it's just like there are so few people that stand on anything these days. Like I don't trust this generation to preserve what we've created.
I feel like prior to you walked in, it was the country episode, right? I feel like country and hip hop are the same in a lot of ways, where a lot of it is about authenticity, right? And they were talking about the country stars who would cross over into the pop realm and stuff like that, and how the real country folk didn't approve of it because they were turning pop. And that's how we feel about hip hop. Whenever we get like a Drake or like a DaBaby or like all these stars who become pop and they can cross over, we look at them a little bit differently because they're not like a Kendrick, they're not like a Cole or a Wale or these niggas.
Jigga.
Or Jigga. Even then now he's honestly kind of become a pop star too, just a little bit.
I wouldn't. The only reason
he has white fans. He has like his shows sort out
of
white
course.
folk.
However, so does Ghostface Killer. You know what I mean? He ain't pop.
I would say the Wu-Tang is pop though, because they were doing world tours. Listen, they were doing world tours.
They hip hop though. The whole thing.
They're hip hop, but they have like I'll see a lot of white folk who love Wu-Tang.
But yeah, but that's what I mean. My ear is hearing white people when I hear pop, and the only reason something is called pop is because white people like it, and I don't want that to be like basically you're big now, you're big time because white people like your shit, so it's not even called hip hop anymore because that's black pop. I don't like that. I don't like the idea of labeling it white basically. Because white people like it, and
we can't like it, but that's what it is. And that's what it always is.
That ain't gotta be what it is. Especially like if we call a spade, like you can have more black fans than white fans, but white people spend more money doing that shit. Hence going to see you.
So because something is popular, that means it has to be the majority, and majority is white folk. Hence why it becomes such a mainstream thing.
That means it's still hip hop to me.
That goes back to the charts, right?
Because that's just white people gentrifying music now. Now, if my hip hop is good enough to get your attention, it's white now. Man,
I'm not saying it's white, but now you have that white appeal.
Yeah,
You have the white folk appeal. Like the same reason why Drake can cross over and do these different things because he has like that appeal in different areas, not just for black folks.
And you know what? Like I go back to what you just said. It's true. Like it's probably not. I probably don't like it.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is. That's what people are calling it. I don't like it, and I can't change it by not liking it.
The same reason why the reason why we separate black singers from white singers is because they're black and one's white, and one would make an R&B album while the other one would be considered pop, even though they would sound very similar, but it's pop. Like me personally, when I hear Sam Smith, I feel like he could be an R&B singer. But he's labeled pop because he's white. You know what I mean? It's popular music.
I see what you're saying. I won't. In my own mind, I won't agree. Like I know what the world is set up as, so I can't deny what they've already.
So I agree with you. I don't like the fact that it's split up in that way.
Yeah, you know and that's why I'm like at this point of conceding, because I'm like, I know you didn't make it like that.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about to say no, but like, you didn't do it. It's just the way things are. So like, I can look at it differently. It's not gonna change how other people look at it.
And it goes back to just even because the music business has always been fucking racist anyway.
Yeah, there's a lot, like we said, it's systematic.
Yeah, and that's one of them too. And like I'm pretty sure you've seen the one clip floating around by T-Pain where Usher told him he ruined music and stuff like that.
I heard of it, yes.
Yeah, that was on this documentary, and I was watching it, and that shit was sad. That nigga was depressed for 5 years, like. And just for everyone to then use auto-tune and say he was like ruining music at the time and just all that shit, he went into it.
Yeah.
And because to me though, I'm like, I love T-Pain when he was out.
Yeah, I wish T-Pain would have had that conversation with Usher.
But he did. Well, he didn't talk about it, but like that's like he was referring to like how they were on the plane, they were going to the BET Awards, whatever, and like Usher called him and then he was like, yo, like, you really ruin music, like, you know what I'm saying?
Usher was mad because his shit wasn't selling and he had to do auto-tune.
I didn't think of that. That's interesting. Yeah, because soon after, everyone else was, but like, I was looking at this from T-Pain's perspective, like, you had Jay-Z dissing you, you had people...
Oh, death of the auto-tune, just everybody in the industry, big influences.
You had everybody saying like, like now people can just be stars and just with this little thing, and then it's just like,
people downplaying your talent.
Just for Kanye to do it, and then now it's just like acceptable, and now the floodgates are open. But T-Pain had to be the sacrificial lamb to make a thing out of it.
Damn.
Like he was talking about how like when I'm Sprung came out.
Yeah.
And he would hear people say, oh, this is good, but this is good for a one-time thing. People were saying that. I was like, that's so fucked up.
It is. That's not fair to T. But you know what? When you're revolutionizing something,
yeah,
it's hard to expect anything else. It was very different.
Yeah.
And so like, and it's not that he was the first to use it.
People just
didn't use it.
They went into it like, so they actually interviewed the inventor of auto-tune, and that nigga's a fucking trillionaire. He was swimming in the pool in his mansion. He was rich as fuck. This nigga was living a lavish. Didn't give a fuck about none of this shit.
He said auto-tune.
He said, I forgot how he made that motherfucker.
Nigga, fuck music. I heard his songs in 20 years.
But he was just so like, just so nonchalant, like, you guys really want to talk about that? Like, all right, whatever. And he went into how it was made, what it was for, and how originally it was an industry secret. Because at the time, people just had to sing. You actually had to be a great vocalist. Yeah. Right? No assistance whatsoever. But this invention allowed you to tune yourself. And he was talking, he was like, my friend, his wife was a singer, and she was like, man, I wish, she was like, do you think you can make a box that could just tune my vocals? And he was like, immediately I knew what to do. And created that. And then ever since, like, you would hear like just one artist use it. It was like Cher used it around the first time, and then it was never heard again. And then because it was kept behind closed doors.
Which song did she use it on? Did they say?
It was a song called "Believe."
I was gonna sing that shit. I was like, was it that just? Do you?
That was all auto-tune.
I can hear it though. That's
right.
why I was like, I That's my shit. I ain't gonna hold you. Cher killed that shit. Make me believe in love. After love. After love. After love.
He said this bitch spitting.
This bitch saying something.
But so they kept it a trade secret for a long time, and then T-Pain talked about how he heard it on the radio, and he spent like a year trying to find this plugin or whatever, and when he finally found it, he went in. You know what I mean? Just for it to be downplayed and looked down upon, and then now just becoming a common thing. But the one thing they touched on that kind of hit me was like, I forget who said it. I think it was the autotune guy. He was like, beforehand you had to find really good people who could sing. Now you have to find really good looking people. And I was like, fuck, that nigga's right. Cause nobody can sing now.
Half of these
rappers is singing.
I was about to say a lot of these acts are just that.
Just good looking.
Yeah, they're just that. And it sounds very pompous coming from a motherfucker, but like so a lot of times I don't be wanting to say it flat out like it is, but there's I think a lot of these stars probably just lack talent.
Oh, for sure.
They
niggas
just lack talent. They're just money.
A lot of these niggas, and you can always tell, like, they get plucked just because it's, you look good, you look the part.
Yeah.
You sound this way. We can dress you up to make you look like this.
Right.
And now we're going to put you in front of the screen, and you're going to make millions for us.
You know what? That's been a formula for a minute. Joe said that about the streets. Like, if you know what I mean? Especially for street dealers. They getting their money behind the scenes. They trying to clean it. They got a prospect, a young bull, he raps or something. But that's who they're going to invest their money in. They can pay his studio time. They can pay for the music videos. And when he get back, that's why they be you get in the industry, what money you get got to go to them too. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole street deal. Like, you feeding them. Yeah. Like, that's why it ends up being a system where the wolves come back for you type shit, because the moment you try to separate from that original party that invested in you in the first place, you know what I mean?
I feel like that's what happened to all them niggas who got shot in the early 90s or like died, like Pac, Big.
They tried to run off on the plug. Motherfucking, they were raised to stardom. They had an opportunity to separate from their original crew to create bigger business for themselves, and that crew saw their meal ticket going out the door. Yeah, so a lot of niggas got killed off of that.
But like back to the whole autotune thing and like just having talent. Like I told you, I genuinely want to be like an R&B singer. Always wanted to. I just love R&B.
Now, with that, I remember what you had mentioned to me earlier. Did that give you an inclination like that auto-tune documentary? Did it make you...
It confirmed what I had already believed for myself.
He said, I look good.
But not even that. It confirmed for me that if I really didn't care about the craft of R&B.
Okay.
I would already be in it. I would have been doing this.
Makes sense.
Because it is that easy. But because I genuinely love the art of singing and vocalists and like melodies and harmonies, and
you want your shit to be respected, not just fucked with.
Yeah, I want it to be real. I want that shit to be real, and
you don't want to be nervous when you're about to get on stage.
Yeah, like I don't want that T-Pain effect.
Yeah, because you remember when he couldn't sing. Because he can sing now. Yeah. But he could not sing in the first.
I'm Sprung was heavy auto-tune. Nowadays he uses it, but like it don't sound like that.
Yeah. He couldn't get off of, that song Close to You.
Yeah, I don't know that song.
He said no.
I was about to say, but I was like,
but yeah, like basically he couldn't pull off that same note back then.
And that's what I feel. I'm like, I don't want to come out the gate auto-tune and then my first live show I gotta have auto-tune, or like let's say you fuck up then you really hear my voice and it's not like, I don't like that idea. But if I really didn't give a fuck and I was just like, just making music is cool, that's what I'm gonna do, then I would have did that.
Yeah, but always about what's most important to us though.
Yeah, and me just being like, again, authentic to what I love. Like I love the the people at Bryson's. I love, the gospel singers. Like my mom and my dad are singers. You know what I'm saying? My whole family is singers. Like I can't. That's not a thing for them.
I feel that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And where they came from was the music that I was introduced to early was like the Temptations.
Part of me was thinking like, in spite, I was going, because I know my dad did like singing at the casinos and stuff like that still. I was like, in spite, I should just take a lot of his business and be like, since I'm just younger and more attractive and shit, and I know all the same oldies, just replace him with me, and I'll be up there, mad as shit. Never on the way. I said,
It's like going crazy on that shit.
Be drunk because I know when I be smoking or something or whatever, that's when I think I can sing the best. Yeah. Oh man, I swear I be hitting every note.
I just knew like that shit, dog. Like I didn't like the fact that
they was hitting T-Pain's heart like that.
Yeah, because I'm like, yo, if it was not for this man taking the brunt of this shit, there wouldn't be no goddamn, like, no Futures, no Travis Scotts, no Quavos, no damn, there are none of you niggas who really can't sing. Right. Like, I knew immediately when I heard, and that's why I didn't like this nigga. Fucking August Alsina. I knew immediately when I heard this nigga, I'm like, yo, you don't sound this good.
Yo, you
sound bad.
I never thought about this man until like just now when you mentioned his name. Like, you know how much I don't fuck with August. Just because simply when he came along, like you know how Trey has been like the Marvin Gaye for us. Yeah. When August came along in his career path, it was like motherfuckers really hyped him up.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't like the style of singing. I didn't like it.
He didn't sound good.
It didn't sound good to me. Like, it sounded fake. It sounded like hard it sounded like when you're trying to sing from your neck and not your fucking gut.
He was modulating a whole lot, and I couldn't get
it. I wasn't with all that shit. All that, I mean, and then it got worse when I actually seen the character. Right. Like, motherfucking, you just look weird. Yeah. Like, call me a dickhead, whatever you want. But I mean, like, it was just, I wasn't a fan. But you brought him up to say like he has auto-tune heavy in his shit now.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of fell off of Chris Brown too, because when he first started, that nigga wasn't using no goddamn auto-tune.
Oh yeah.
And nowadays, because he really can't sing no more, what the fuck is he using? Auto-tune like a motherfucker.
Yo, and these are things that I probably would peep had I had them in my music library and kind of seen the gradual change.
But go Apple Music, you'll peep.
Oh yeah.
Listen to Yo versus some shit he got now, nigga.
That song totally just different. Tell me how you feel. Do you know? I know, like, if your eyebrows don't move, you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, you just, nah, so, but yeah, heavy on the auto-tune, heavy.
Damn, that one joint, it's always hard to say goodbye when you know that you gotta go a separate way. Yeah. That shit, like, he was really singing on that.
Yeah, all his old shit when he was using that light voice.
Yeah, he grew some balls. So he was like,
he said, "Oh, I sound like a bitch."
That nigga started rapping like, when that rich nigga want you.
He said, what did he say?
Can't do nothing for you.
How you can't even get in. Like, I hated that rap.
That shit was hard. That shit was hard as fuck, boy.
No, when you get to the part where you're like, I ain't really mean to say all my dick, but since we talking about my dick, all you got to say I to it. I'm done.
Hey, yo, Breeze it. Let me try to get that thing when he killed. That's when you came in.
Yeah, I was like, that's the part I wait for. Like, he said, let's go. I would never. Shout it, Lily.
That's sort of the point. I'll never cross the line.
I was about to say. Because I was about to make a joke. And I was going to cry. I was surely going to cross the line. I said,
I'm about to cross the line.
I'm about to fucking cross the line. Let me just make this joke one more time.
Tell it again.
I said, I'ma tell it again, my nigga. Jokes up with my friends. I'm done.
Oh shit. Sometimes I want to be your brother.
You already know where that shit getting remixed terribly. Sometimes I want to be your brother. Sometimes I want to be your man. Sometimes I want to fuck you. Oh, let's make this one pot again. Oh my god. Oh, that's crazy.
This has been nothing but jokes.
I was gonna, but then again, we can make these jokes, man.
Yeah, fact.
We know it.
Yeah.
We like that's another thing too. Getting old enough to be out of the pause culture, like and then I don't think that's an age thing because a lot of just maturing in the mind. Like I mean, like
It's always been like no homo and shit like that.
yeah, like dog, I know what I like.
Yeah.
Like shit, man.
I feel like if you can't joke about gay shit, like
you
you're,
might be
Yeah.
like just because I be seeing all the sensitivities like when I was looking at social media and shit, you see the videos of niggas trying to hide while eating what they call a glizzy.
Yeah, which is so funny.
It's a hot dog.
When I was so this shit had me tight. When they brought like hot dogs and shit like that to the job for everybody, you know what I mean? For like I think it was for the week to celebrate.
Yeah. I
They
was
brought
there that
hot
night.
dogs,
Yeah.
And the one dude, I got 2 hot dogs. He was like, you eating them glizzy, son? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, suck my dick. Like,
Yeah,
it's
like,
food. It's food.
You bitch ass nigga.
Don't,
Like,
yo, that shit had me so tight.
I made a post and one of my homeboys from school was commenting on like, yo, if that ain't the truth, because it was just like I was like, it's not nothing wrong with eating a hot dog. It's your masculinity that's fucked up.
Yeah, I saw
Like,
that.
yeah, it was like if that ain't the truth, because you imagining a dick, what the fuck is wrong with you? Nigga funny, but like the truth. Nigga animated, but like man, niggas crazy these days, man. I think that Young Thug was the real life personification of Thugalicious.
Yo, no, you're
Like
fucking
these
right.
kids is okay with purses and skirts
Painting
now.
their nails.
Yeah, boys. Like and like I'm no thug, but the way these thugs look today, I'm not scared of you.
It's mad feminine.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they skinny as fuck because nobody wants to get buffer. And who am I to talk?
They
You know what I'm
always say, look, I ain't fighting you, I'm gonna shoot you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all they
Nobody's
say.
squaring up no more. Like, I mean, like, it ain't even.
Yo, nigga, if you like, and don't get me wrong, I ain't the nigga to fight.
Yeah, we know what lives we live. We
Yeah.
live peacefully.
However,
but like,
though,
goddamn,
if you really gonna be in that life, nigga, learn how to fight.
yeah, like, man.
Get stomped out and learn.
Don't you get jumped into gangs? Like, don't you have to fight? Don't you get brought into the back of the, you know what I'm saying? And like,
Nah, niggas paid to get in the fucking gangs. I don't give a fuck about that shit no more.
niggas be paid and the gang want to join them. That's what it is.
We're gonna join.
Yeah. And start what's the word? When motherfucking you basically extortion.
Oh, yeah,
Extortion.
Yeah.
That's a lot. There's
It's
a lot of
shit
that
like
going on
though,
too.
like, and yeah, you're right about the whole. I was just watching the clip the other day of the Boondocks when the dude who's supposed to be Soldier Boy on there, his name was Sergeant Gutter, and he was making fun of Thug Neverson. He was like, hey man, he was like, honestly, you know, Thug Neverson, he was actually a role model of mine, man. You know, when I came up, I wanted to be just like Thug Neverson. Psych, nah, man, fuck that old ass nigga. He was like, you tell me to eat a dick, nigga. I'm 15. This nigga old enough to be my dad, nigga. Fuck that nigga. He was like, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna call your mama. And he called his mom. He was like, hello. He's like, oh yeah, is this Thug Neverson mama? Yeah. He was like, man, your son been talking real bad about me. He was like, I've been telling him not to talk bad about people. That's my boy right there. He was like, that's your mama, nigga. Your mama.
No, but like,
And I'm like, yo, these young niggas don't be giving a fuck about none of that shit for real.
Like, I just this generation is missing out on so much.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn. But I look at the album cover he had that one time where he was in a dress and had the umbrella and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you know, looking at the lingo, they calling guns dicks and
That shit's just funny to me. I just like
and extensions and shit like that. It's just like
one dick, two dick.
you know, me and when I was you know, oh, I heard one dick. You childish motherfucker.
That's what Pop Smoke says. His whole face. He said.
Because it's all disappointing. It's all disappointing. Like, me and old girl was leaving her crib and got down. There was this old boy walking up the street with a fanny pack on the front part. Mm-hmm. She was like, that. She said, ain't that? I was just like, what I'm saying? Like, but there's a thing in, like, the conservative mindset is about traditions, right?
Yeah.
While like leaning towards left, more democratic thinking, it's like more inclusive. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with a balance there. It's just what I see like with these fanny packs and purses and skirts, just all kind of androgynous shit that niggas is wearing and shit. Like motherfucking I think that emasculation is intended.
I've always felt that way, especially towards black people.
And especially because that's what they used to.
Especially to emasculate a black man.
100%.
You tear down the community easier.
Gotta wear a dress if you want to be in Hollywood.
Because you can't protect your people as men if you're being emasculated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That'll be the first thing. Well, to break the bull.
That's what it's called. That's what it's called.
To take this man's masculinity to slave him, because otherwise you can't overpower him any other way.
Right.
Like us as black men, we carry that strength naturally. So to get us out of that, you have to make us softer, feminize us, and damn near turn us into women.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, again, do whatever you want. But I don't like that to be the status quo, because to me, to be a man,
100%.
You have to carry majority masculine energy.
100%.
We all have feminine energy in us. Obviously, that's how we can be empathetic. We can, care.
That's
and
how
all
I
that
got nipples.
Right. You know what I'm saying? All that reproductive systems. We come from women. However, the kind of man that is going to be more empowered and taking charge is one of more masculine energy.
100%.
100%. This nigga had the joke cocked and ready, boy.
Cause I hope you remember your point. Cause when you was talking, I was like, this guy got nipples. I made some joke with a girl talking about. I forget why I said that the one babe had a big clit. Oh yeah,
she got a dick.
She called the dude. She called the babe like half a man because like she just looked like a dude, and I was like, she got a big clit. And she was like, where did you think of that from? Now I'm in now I'm trying I'm trying to finesse like, no, I didn't see a big clit. Like I'm just watching porn or some shit. Like it's true, but like for her it sounds like I'm lying because like, all the experience. But that's funny. Anyway, but yeah,
like
these programs and shit like they got on TV. Nickelodeon, for example, saying SpongeBob is gay, or all these kids networks putting transgender kids into like just forcing it into homes,
right? And
it's not. I don't think that's right. I'm not, and that doesn't mean I'm against the gay community. That means I'm against you force feeding my kid.
Right.
Like
I want to be able to give them information.
That's just like separation of church and state. Like y'all just doing too much.
Right.
Like they try and all this inclusive shit. Now, like,
it's a lot. It's a lot.
Frustrating for.
And like I said, I respect everyone's choice and right and free will and liberty to be whatever sexual orientation or identify whatever you want to be with. I just don't like the fact that in the black community that we're getting to a space where it's men are being emasculated and feminized, and now we're not even getting to a point where the women who are calling out for us, they're also playing a huge part in emasculating us too.
Yeah.
All men ain't shit. Y'all some bitch ass niggas.
Yeah.
Women are becoming the dominant force.
Yeah.
Because the men aren't being the dominant force no more.
Yeah.
So who has to step up? Our women. And honestly, they've been doing a pretty good job. But
but
if I want to be real, I want us to do better too.
I thought you were saying who has to step up in this situation.
Yeah,
I was
we
like,
do.
we do.
Yeah, they're doing great.
I was like, we do.
But they're giving us the hard way around because we're not stepping up.
Right.
Like we need to fucking take charge.
There's not enough men. Old girl was telling me how her sister, she always like the dominant one in her relationships, and I was like, well, that's their fault.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Some bitch ass
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's all that is. Like, goddamn, like. I try to put it in perspective for her. Like you are dominant, but you ain't dominating here.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know why you're submissive. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we can call it spade a spade. I can sound as pompous as I want to, but it just is what it is. You're being led, and like, it's okay. Right. Like, if it's in the right hands and shit. Like, so motherfucking, that's all I'm saying. Like, like a lot of all this born this way stuff, I get it. You could be born with an inclination towards one or another. I do feel like, though, like all the TV, the media that you consume is also part of what nurtures you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And so, like, these young kids consuming all this shit, and like it just gives them the inception of exploration. You know, they're ready to explore. You know what I'm saying? And before you know it, you got less men who want to be men.
Right.
And then who's, you know what I mean, who's gonna be the? I mean, there's a. I mean, like
it's a vicious cycle.
It is.
Goddamn.
But shit, no point in beating a dead horse.
Oh, never mind.
Because I can imagine where you saw that going.
Yeah.
Where it went.
Yeah, I was
There's no point in beating the
dead.
What's that noise was Gary come? You said.
I said.
Yo, I was thinking about that when I sent you the message with him when he was like, reach for the sky. That's what I was thinking about. I was just like, imagine telling the nigga to reach for the sky.
You see the video I sent you?
No. I started that shit, and then that's when I stopped it and started telling you the message. I said, nah, me.
I'm funny.
I said, you gonna laugh at this. Never sent me a message back. I said, this motherfucker, he must still be laughing. I said, oh, man.
I should have sent a voice note like, nigga, fuck you, watch my video.
You damn well that shit was gonna get seen. I don't know what it is with me, man. Let me look at it now. What did he say? What did he do?
It was my boy on YouTube. Well, this is an Instagram clip or whatever. This is this shit.
Yeah, I saw it to this part.
Just watch that shit. That's Tyreek Hill, who plays for the NFL. Fast as fuck. Her titties fell out when she was running. Them shit said.
Flop it up.
Them shit just fucking doing a wave. That shit.
Yo, I love
I didn't send it to you for that, nigga. Send it to you and laugh, bitch.
I hate myself. I said, I love. I'm saying running it back, seeing the titties flop.
Frame by frame, that shit.
That's why I stopped talking. I said, I love floppy titties. I love any titty.
Coming to titty man.
Shit. And I caught myself too with that. I gotta get better at not having no pics. Like that shit does make it difficult.
Shorty was this. We had that conversation last night. She was like, so I told her I'm pretty much done like with fat bitches, and so she was like, so what do you like, skinny girls? I'm like, nah, not really that. You gotta have. I was like, they gotta look like you, for real. But you're like, so I was like, I ain't gonna hold you though. I'm like, but if you are like a big bitch and you got a pretty face, you kind of won. Like you won for me. I ain't gonna cap, because I realized that I do attract bigger women. Yeah. Like if I'm being like, a lot of bigger women like are attracted to me, and I think that's kind of maybe just with the energy that I give out.
Yeah.
I don't get a lot of like the skinny girl attention.
You know what's funny? Me neither.
Yeah, like,
but I'm a skinny nigga.
Right. But I think it's because of that, of our size, that you know what I'm saying?
I mean, like I know the ladies. What is it? They there's this running thing about skinny niggas. Just the same thing as black niggas.
Yeah.
Had a great body. Got a great body.
Give me a great topic.
Come a great rabbit.
Call me Great Robbie. That gotta be a song title or something.
I'm about to make some goofy shit. Yo, the last time I rapped on some goofy shit.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
But yeah, like she was like, so would you pick ugly skinny girl or ugly fat bitch. I'm an ugly fat bitch. Before ugly skinny, I can't even catch.
What I've been saying a lot is like as long as and that's my problem. As long as the pussy's clean.
That's what I'm saying. Like and me, like I'm looking at it just like when I'm gonna enjoy fucking.
Yeah.
Cause I have fucked a skinny girl, and it's just like, I don't hit the same. I don't like it.
I have. It's been a long time.
I don't like it.
It's been a long time.
It's just
damn,
like,
it's been a long time.
I wouldn't like that.
No, it hasn't. Old,
You know?
old girl is like slim, and she's skinnier.
Yeah.
But she got. That's the thing though. Like when you got skinny with like a bubble butt, like and your little belly is poking out, like I don't know what's wrong with me. Nothing's wrong with me.
You like natural women?
Yeah, there you go. Like I like seeing the belly hang over a little bit.
Yeah, we don't discriminate with that shit. I never like when women talk about getting enhancements or. I honestly don't even like women want to get surgeries to take anything away. I don't like women talking about breast reductions.
Yeah,
no,
those
that
break
shit.
my heart.
Keep it all
talking
up.
about your back and
keep it.
All this hurting and
we
shit.
love the stretch marks. We love the stomachs.
Back at Amazon.
The thighs, the arms, like all that.
And I was about to
say,
now me,
give it here.
I'm a little too, not even too. There's no such thing for me. I'm a little more on the natural leaning tip because, like, I was about to say, the underarm hair, the vagina hair, keep it all. And
that's why I drew a line right there.
You was going. I saw you. That's you. He said, he love it all.
Yeah, for me, you better shame
but for some reason, like I think like I got a fetish for like, and I think it's because like before I started actually fucking, my preference in porn leaned towards like desi women, like I'm saying, and like when I actually did start fucking, and I did fuck with an Indian woman, I'm just like, alright, I love this.
My prayers have been answered.
Yeah, like keep all that hair, man.
Praise to be to Allah.
That shit. I gotta get home now. He said prayers to be to Allah. I just beat you. But now we sit here talking about that shit and just like, man, I gotta fuck. I gotta like, cause man.
Wait, my dumb ass, I'm already thinking you talking about some romantic shit. I'm like, oh, go get your girl, nigga. You like trying to fuck about,
I need the Gordian. And that's the issue, man. Like I'm just so lustful. Like that's all it is. I really do. Like this person, she's really good. Like real good peoples and everything.
Cause I feel you. Cause a lot of times, and I said this before. Like I don't, the people who I may miss in my past situations, I only miss them lustfully. You know 100%. What I mean? And then once that's out the way, it's like. Nah.
It didn't matter.
Yeah.
And it's the moments that are tough for me. Like when I'm in a moment, for example, and I'm thinking about these desi women or just, I mean, like, now the craving's there. Now I want it. Now I know how to get it. Now I can.
Yeah.
And now it's like you said when it was like, that's the challenge that comes with being able to do anything you want.
Yeah, the whole world is open to you now.
Yeah.
And like, now it's your free reign.
Shit's tough.
Now you just gotta reel that bitch back in. But here we are.
Yeah, man. You had any more topics you needed to hit?
That was pretty much. I feel like we got into a lot.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Talk about goddamn politics.
Yeah, real shit. Music, I tried to we tried to wean it off of the serious tip because but like these are things, man. It's really going on.
And like we always say, these conversations we would have off camera.
Real
anyway,
shit. Like,
it
would get discussed one way or another.
Yeah, it would have came up one way or another. You know what I'm saying?
Episode 11.
11, goddamn.
You getting there? You had, what did you say that this was called?
I would never.
Yeah, I would never. It's gonna be Lil John. Deja
He's like, you know,
read my mind. Yo, that's it. That's uncanny.
Yeah, that shit was great.
I thought I knocked some more shit off.
I stepped right over this shit. I was like, we out.
Get out of here. Yeah. We tearing this whole setup.